Good evening, Tuesday evening, and I'm going to talk with you about some of the programs of our brains which affect not our personal life, but our global life and destiny as well. If you look around you and show interest in politics, you know that we have great problems with ecological change, climate change, sustainable lifestyle, which is collapsing. We have great problems with pollution, with overpopulation, and with overconsumption. How come this brain, which is supposed to be the brain of a Homo sapiens, has brought us so far or so close to our possible extinction? You have to understand how this brain functions, not just constructively, but also destructively. Now, there is this limbic system down there. It's an old brain, which takes care of our breathing, heartbeats, our emotions, our urges, our impulses. This is the brain of a lizard. We have it in common with other animals, and this was the start of our brain, which grew up later on to include the neocortex, where we think and where we rationalize and where we can think abstract. This new brain gave us the possibility of finding out what is reality in a more complex way. While the first program, which stems from the lizard brain, is emotional. It reacts to different stimuli, it reacts to different circumstances. It doesn't try to figure out what to do otherwise. So the other system, the reality checking and rational thinking, helps this lizard brain to adjust to different modes of actions, not just automatic, either attack or flee. So this reality and testing system, som vi program, som vi create vores neocortex, serves us to consider different opportunities, different constellation, whatever. Now, but it's not that reliable, because the first program do affect it emotionally. So we sometimes make decision in our reality, which is crazy or self-destructive. So they don't work together always. They sometimes work together for the benefit of humanity, sometimes they don't. And there is the third program, which Freud called our ego. The way we look at life as a moral construct, as an ideal construct, or as an utopia which we can realize, or as some very significant, very important beings in this reality, or God, or religion, or the messengers of religion. We have these aspects which we try to lift reality beyond its, very grounded foundation. We add some aspects of spirit, of something striving to something higher. And sometimes this program ends up being confabulating. We create a world which doesn't exist. We create a meaning which just doesn't exist. And sometimes it really backfire, as is the case with program number four, where we act as a swarm, or a flock, or group thinker, where we lose any contact with reality as individual, and we act blindly to ideology, to religion, to inflaming demagogues. and we don't stop thinking. We just react like this. Now, if the first program, the lizard, and the third program, moral and ideal, give push to this fourth program, where we react as a swarm, so we become dangerous. And you know why we became dangerous to ourselves in this century and before? Because we all came to believe, let's say, in aggressive religions, which create a lot of havoc in the world, in ideology of capitalism, in consumption. So we brought ourselves in a real bad situation. Is it all what our brain can do? I don't think so. But I don't think that we, with the brain we have, with the perceptions we have, with the noise these four systems create, we can go much farther without destroying ourselves. So there must be a way out of it. And then I think about, there is also the fifth program. Fifth program tells us that we are not a finished product of advanced intelligence. We are just Homo stupidians. Why Homo stupidians? Because we just want to build something up, and at the same time we destroy the foundation of this project. That's what we have done lately, very, very clearly. So we are not sapiens. Far from. These programs are fighting in each other as individual and also as collective and global. So what are we to do? Is God, has God brought us in a kind of a trap which we can't get out of unless we destroy ourselves? No. There is the potential program of evolving beyond our constraints, beyond the constraints of our mind brains. We evolve, so we become much wiser, much more far-sighted, much more oriented to create an ecological balanced world, a sustainable balanced world, without greed, without so much aggressive territorial campaigns and power projection, all these things which we have placed in this lizard brain. We have to know, we have to develop a program which we have in us as a potential to not only diminish, but also to stop the influence of this old program and the swarm program. Because if you're a swarm, you don't think, you're not a human. So my idea is that we have to work towards upgrading our brains in different ways. It can be through education, socialization, by genetical modification technologies which will develop with time, by robotic, by artificial intelligence agents which will correct our way of thinking, stop us before we make damage. And we can do it. It will take maybe 50 years or a little bit longer, and we will have the means to influence the way we think and conceive the reality, and then make the change which is needed to correct all these things which we have, which are damaging for ourselves. So what I'm trying to say, there is a hope, but there is a hope only if we realize that with the four first programs, we are lost. We have to slowly turn into educating and upgrading people to evolve beyond this, which we call sapiens, which is not sapiens, which is stupid and therefore dangerous. Thanks for listening to me.